Family. Oh, not today. Right, well, this is quite a long one, okay? So if you want to stop it and halfway and come back to it later on, I don't understand you, okay? But it's called Henry's Pirates Surprise. Henry's Pirate Surprise. And that's Henry. Hey, looks a bit like you, Henry, doesn't it? Right then, let's have a look. Henry's uncle Richard was a toy maker and lived above his shop. Henry loved to visit and his uncle would always surprise him with new toys. Then he would ask Henry to play with him over the weekend. "You are my chief toy tester," his uncle would say. "It's a very important job. Look at that big boat and rockets and all sorts of things." This time his uncle had a special surprise for him. On a large table stood an enormous wooden ship. "Wow, a pirate ship!" exclaimed Henry. "It's amazing. This is the Stinking Rose." Ha 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 ha. A bit of a play on the Mary Rose, maybe. "The finest pirate galleon to sail the seven seas. Arr. This is not the surprise," said the uncle. "Really, but it's fabulous." "What could possibly be more surprising than this?" asked Henry. Wow. Oh, we've got the pirates coming here. Good. I better do my pirate voice. Here's Henry again. There's a pirate. Look, good. "I think that honour falls to me," said a voice from inside the ship. "The ship can talk." Henry's mouth fell wide open. "The ship doesn't talk," his uncle started to explain. But then a door opened on the deck and a tiny pirate captain walked into view, took off his hat with a flourish and bowed to Henry. "Captain Eightpiece at your service." "Ah, Captain Eightpiece at your service. Ah." Henry couldn't believe his eyes. "This is the best toy you have ever made, Uncle Richard." "Henry, Captain Eightpiece is real, and so is the rest of the crew," Uncle Richard whispered. "Absolutely," cried Captain Eightpiece. "My crew have been looking for a good ship. Fortunately, we came to your uncle's shop and found this wonderful vessel. We sail tomorrow." Cool, I'm not a very good pirate voice, am I? "But you can't be real. You're only 6 inches high," exclaimed Henry. 6.5, actually. Captain Eightpiece stood tall. "Well, if I'm not real, then you can't be able to feel this, will you?" He took out his cutlass, marched over to Henry, and poked him in the hand. "Ouch!" shouted Henry. "He did that to me too," smiled Henry's uncle. "Then he paid me for the ship with gold coins. We're going to help Captain Eightpiece and his crew launch the ship tomorrow." "Let me introduce you to my crew, dear boy," said the captain. "Men on deck now," he roared, and 4 tiny men appeared on the deck of the ship. Look, there he is, stabbing Henry in the hand with his cutlass, with his sabre, with his sword. This is going to go on for quite some time, this one possibly. So. "This is Barney, called the first mate. He's second in command to me. Hello, Barney. And Limpy Pitt, the bosun. He makes sure all the crew do their jobs properly. Hello, Limpy Pitt. Periwinkle is the second mate and is in charge of navigation. Hello, Periwinkle. And finally, Razor Clam, the helmsman. He's the man, the helm, which means he steers the ship. He mans the helm, which means he steers the ship. I guess this is the helm's wheel or something. The ship's wheel is the helm. Captain Eightpiece looked up at Henry. "We could do with a cabin boy, but fortunately you're a bit, big. However, we've got lots of jobs to do. If you want to help, that'd be nice." So Henry scrubbed the deck with his toothbrush. He stacked marbles that could be used to fire in the cannon. Cannonballs, that's a clever idea, marbles. He put the pirate flag on top of the mast because he's tall and filled matchboxes with flour, cereal and other foods ready for the long journey. Look, he's the storesman as well. Look, wow, he's doing a very good job really, Henry, isn't he? Henry stayed with the pirate crew until bedtime. The crew told him about their adventures, sailing the high seas, battling scary monsters and finding treasure. He could have listened to them all night. There's the crew telling their stories. I'm going to go through this quite fast. So if you want to pause, look at the pictures more, you can do that. When Uncle Richard told him it was time for bed, Henry reluctantly bid the pirates good night and promised to help them launch the Stinking Rose in the river in the morning. Then he went up to bed and was asleep in minutes. Look, there's the crew all snuggled in their mess kind of thing. A noise downstairs woke Henry in the middle of the night. He heard a door squeak and then the sound of muffled voices. Somebody was breaking into the toy shop. Henry crept out of bed and tiptoed out of his room and across the agora to his uncle's room. There he is, waking up. He can hear the noise. It's Henry's bed. Henry, you got a bed, haven't you? You have a bed over here as well, mate. Then a voice from downstairs drifted up to Henry. Blimey, Dave, look at that pirate ship. That'd fetch a pretty penny. Just pick that and get out of here. Smartish. Look, robbers, thieves, burglars. All different names for people to take things. Henry knew he needed to scare the burglars away. He was desperately trying to think of a plan when he felt something run up his pyjama trouser leg, along his arm, and he heard a voice whisper in his ear. Tried to figure out how to catch those burglars, are you? Good man. Captain Eightpiece swung from Henry's ear onto his nose and looked him in the eyes. Limpy Barney and Perry are hiding in the ship, ready to surprise them. Razors under the table, up to no good, I'd imagine. Ha ha! What's your plan? Whispered Henry. We're pirates, my boy. We will repel them. And with that, Captain Eightpiece jumped off Henry's nose, ran down his arm and onto the floor, where he disappeared into the darkness. There he is, whispering in his ear. And there he is, jumping back on the floor, running off to go and get those bad guys, those bad robbers and burglars. How we doing for time? Big long one, I told you. The two burglars were now struggling with the stinking rose. Help me! Lift this ship up, wheezed the shorter one. The larger thief bent over the ship. Ouch! Something bit my hand. Shh, you big baby, the smaller burglar scoffed. Put your back into it. Ow! Something bit me too. Ouch! And again, look, there they are, trying to nick the ship, and they're getting stabbed by the pirates and all sorts of things. Henry tried not to laugh. The crew were poking the burglars with their swords. Then Henry heard the buzzing of an engine. He looked up and saw a remote-control helicopter. Captain Eightpiece was throwing tiny bags of flour into the thieves' eyes. Stop, you scoundrels! Captain Eightpiece shouted. I forgot my accent then, my poor accent. Quick, run! Let's get out of here! Cried the thieves. Look, there he is in the helicopter. The pirates are repelling the attack, and there's Henry laughing over there in the corner, look, with the cat. But when the burglars tried to run, they tripped over Razor and had their shoelace tripped over. Razor had tied their shoelaces together. Yahoo! Henry, wake your uncle and call the police, called Captain Eightpiece, jumping onto the larger burglar. Razor jumped onto the shorter one's chin and threatened him with his cutlass. Look there, look, they've got their shoelaces tied together. Don't do that to anyone, Eileen, okay? It's a bit dangerous, okay? Stone me! I'm seeing things! There are pirate pixies in here, croaked the big thief as he fainted. Look, they're getting stabbed in the face. With their little swords, the pirates are going to town on them, aren't they? Henry's uncle had already called the police when Henry went to get him. He and Henry went downstairs to find the two moaning burglars tied up, but there was no sign of the pirates. Only if you listened very carefully could you hear the laughter coming from the stinking rose. There's the pirates tied up on the chairs, and there was laughter coming from the stinking rose, but not everybody could hear it. The police arrived. Hello, 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 hello. Don't be fooled by what you hear. There are a lot of good police officers out there. The police arrived and took the burglars away. They congratulated Henry and his uncle for catching the two men and told them that they would be a reward. The police asked if they knew why the burglars kept talking about 6-inch high parties, but Henry and Uncle Richard pretended to know. The next morning, Henry and Uncle Richard carried the stinking rose to the river and helped Captain Eightpiece launch the ship. It floated perfectly. Captain Eightpiece thanked Henry and Uncle Richard for the ship. Good spot of fun last night, Henry. If you ever grow smaller, you can definitely be my cabin boy. And with a flourish of his hat and a graceful bow, Captain Eightpiece jumped onto the stinking rose, and he and his crew sailed off towards the 7 seas for new adventures. Look at that boat. What an adventure, huh? There they are, saying goodbye, bidding farewell, ready to sail off on the boat. It's quite a long one. And that was the end. I hope you enjoyed that. That's treasure for me. Any treasure at the end of the 7 seas. Ah, Jim my lad. Ah, can I see my children? Not today, but I do love you all so much. Ching.